I seem to be having some technology issues, so I thought I would end that stream and start over. So here we are again. Welcome to Healing with Annette, going live on LinkedIn. Take a moment and land, bring ourselves home to this moment right here, right now. Even if you're watching the replay, it's still now when you're watching the replay, right? That's the beautiful thing about the now. It can happen anywhere, anytime. And it's always happening now. Okay, so we called in Kuan Yin in the video that probably didn't really have much video. Uh, so I'll move on. And I have a poem I'd like to start us off with today from this beautiful book that I found perusing a thrift store. I love thrift stores. And so I'd like to read this poem called Fire by Joy Harjo. And Harjo is a Creek Indian born in Oklahoma and educated at the University of New Mexico with a BA and the University of Iowa with an MFA. Harjo has published 4 volumes of poetry and one of prose. As of the publication of this book, she's currently Associate Professor of English at the University of Arizona in Tucson. And her poems have been influenced both by the oral tradition of her people, which imbues the world with spirits, and by feminist thought. This poem really spoke to me this morning, so I'll begin. Fire. A woman cannot survive by her own breath alone. She must know the voices of mountains. She must recognize the foreverness of blue sky. She must flow with the elusive bodies of night wind, women who will take her into her own self. Look at me. I am not a separate woman. I am a continuance of blue sky. I am the throat of the Sandia Mountains, a night wind woman who burns with every breath she takes. Mm, yeah. I thought that was a really sweet place to start today. Healing with Annette, live on LinkedIn. Here we are. Why not start with a poem? Hmm, so beautiful. That helped me come home in a world and in a society that would have us take our opinions of ourselves based on the media, our teachers, our parents, any voices in our heads lurking in the shadows. It's powerful to recognize that we are the mountains, we are the blue sky, we are nature. I don't know about you, but I grew up in the 90s in Wisconsin. So, meat and potatoes, salt of the earth kind of people, go to church, have a beer or two, and that's life. But I've never been satisfied with that way of living. I've always had this deeper longing, this deeper call to mysticism. And I remember as a little girl, I loved going back on my heels and asking myself, who am I? Hmm. So as you sit here now, watching the replay, who are you coming into this moment if you didn't have those voices dictating who or what you should be? I'm here to be that little reminder. Tap, tap on the shoulder. Hey, there are lots of ways we can heal. Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know me, that don't know my story, in January of 2020, I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer. And I'm here today, it's August now, 4th, 2025. Still no evidence of disease, knock on wood. I just had my PET scan last week and so relieved. I was worried because I've been having some sensation in the lymph nodes up here where the cancer was at one point when I had a reoccurrence in 2022. And, it was in the lymph node, it was in the breast, it was in the liver, HER2 positive, not able to have a mastectomy because it was metastatic at the time of diagnosis until last year. February of 2024, I had a bilateral mastectomy. And that was so freeing because I was able to clear the cancer that was in my liver using the supplements in the book, Grow a New Body. And then the chemotherapy drug in HER2 helped clear up the cancer that was on my skin. And because I was able to clear that up, I was able to finally have the mastectomy that was never on the table. So I'm here today because I've discovered some really powerful ways we can heal. So let's get into it, shall we? In my latest newsletter, I talk about it. I get into it, and I've gotten into it in my last newsletter. So you can go onto my LinkedIn profile and find my newsletters. I think you would look at my articles. I believe that's how LinkedIn has them classified. But in my most recent newsletter, I talk about, number one, setting the intention to heal. That was my baseline. That's where I built my foundation. When I was first diagnosed, after the shock, after the shock was processed and I was plodding along appointment to appointment, I made the intention to heal. I was like, I'm going to ace cancer school. Who says that? I did. And I have. So far, so good, knock on wood. And I'm really motivated to share with you what's helped for me. And number one is setting that intention. So whether that is intention setting or prayer or meditation or contemplation or time in nature or mindfully washing your dishes or doing your laundry or tending to the other things in your home or the people in your life or your animals. We can bring healing into every moment. We can. And yes, I've done everything alongside Western medicine. I'm not here to bash Western medicine, okay? Western medicine is part of what has helped keep me alive. But it is through the holistic approach that I have really learned how to thrive, and that has worked beautifully alongside Western medicine. So I have done acupuncture, physical therapy, meditation, nature walks, camping, to creating intentional groups where, real connection is possible, because that's what we need now more than ever is real connection. So that's why I'm here. To provide connection, education, healing, and resources for those that are affected by cancer, as well as the loved ones. Because I've seen the impact of my diagnosis and my journey on my husband. And I've seen how he's been ignored in my appointments. And so, if you're a caregiver watching this video, welcome, welcome. I hope there's something here to empower and help you be resourced. And in my latest LinkedIn newsletter, I also talked about drinking the right tea. So I mentioned briefly that I used the supplements detailed in the book Grow a New Body back in 2022 to help me kind of bring my body back into balance and fight the cancer alongside the chemotherapy. Um, and then earlier this year, I discovered this tea called Genuine Essex Tea. Now, don't order this on Amazon because there are a lot of imitators out there. So I know people are going to immediately go to Amazon. Don't do that. Okay, I have a trusted link on my blog. Go to healingwithannette.org and look for my blog. It's also in my latest newsletter. Back in March, I talked about this tea. You can also go to their website. If you do decide to order, please use code Annette10 at checkout. I'll make a small portion of profit as an affiliate marketer because I believe in this tea so much. I want people to know about it. And that's why I'm talking about it. I started taking this tea back in February to help the nausea, to help all the GI issues I'm having, the burping, the farting, uh, belching at really kind of sometimes inappropriate times. I'm just like, bleh. It just comes out. I can't help it. It's how my belly is now. Um, all kinds of GI issues, with elimination. I probably have uh, um, Crohn's disease, I think they call it. I don't know. Irritable bowel. That's what it is. Yeah, I've definitely had irritable bowel over the last 5 years. So the genuine Essex tea is helping to resolve that. But now this is the slow game. Okay, you've got to think long game results here. So with drinking the tea, ideally, if you're going through the shit and your body's fighting off the cancer, you'd want to drink the tea 3 times a day. And you can do that by structuring it so you have it first thing in the morning, and then you could have it um, if you have your lunch at a regular time and your dinner at a regular time, then you could wait 2 hours after your lunch, assuming that would be an hour before your dinner. You could have your tea, and then after your dinner, have it 2 hours after your dinner, which is probably going to be kind of close to bedtime. And you can have it with other teas as well, like chamomile, if you have a chamomile ritual at night. The tea is not meant to be strained. You're meant to drink those plant parts. That's part of what's going to heal your insides. And we all know our health is in our gut, but what are we doing to address it? So we can do that by drinking this healing tea. And I talk about it in my latest newsletter. I'll put the link in the comments below. I am a believer in this tea, and I'm so impressed with the integrity of the company, the quality of the people behind it. They were recently featured on Chris Beats Cancer, who's another cancer survivor out there who he beat his stomach cancer through nutrition alone. So he's got a lot to say as well. Um, and Genuine Essex was recently featured on his podcast. So that's great that they're getting some exposure out there in the world. I'm really excited for Genuine Essex, and I'm excited for you to find this tea as well. It's really easy to make. You boil your pot of water, you measure your ingredients, boil your pot of water, bring it to a boil, add the tea, stir it in, turn the temperature down, medium, medium low. You just want to slight, simmer real gradual. And 10 minutes, that's all you need. 10 minutes, you cook the tea, take it off the heat, let it cool 8, 10, 12 hours if you can. I've put it away at 6 or 8 hours. It's fine. Put it in the fridge. I like to use the quart size canning jars, and then I'll use the 4-ounce jelly jars to portion out my servings. And I store it in the fridge. And then I just take the jelly jar out, shake it, stir it, pour it in my teacup, and thank the earth for her healing medicine as I drink it down, and I bless the earth. So if you start drinking this tea, I invite you to bless not just your body, but the earth as you drink this tea. Because for a lot of us, those that have been touched by developmental trauma or trauma in the childhood, the ground, the earth beneath our very feet may have become invisible. And if that's where you are right now, that's okay too. Wherever you are, it's actually perfect. We have to cultivate that frame of mind where we rise above good or bad, and we can start to see ourselves as if we're looking at a friend. when you can really be kind to yourself through your self-talk, that's also very, very healing. And this tea can be part of your healing ritual. So I don't want to give away all the secrets that I share in my latest newsletter. So I'll invite you to go check it out there for more details. I just want to touch on number three, which I do mention on the newsletter, is electrolytes. Changing my water by adding electrolytes have been a game changer. Last year, when I had my mastectomy, it was about 3 months after I had the bilateral mastectomy, I developed POTS, where I was very lightheaded. I was very pale because my blood pressure, which tends to run low, was really low. I mean, like, oh my God, what's going to happen low? And I went to the doctor, and my primary said, you can have all the salt you want. So I've discovered I need salt. And so I've added the LMNT electrolyte to my water. I love drinking that. The chocolate flavor is delicious in the coffee. But be warned, if you start adding the chocolate to your coffee, you're going to want your coffee that way every time. I'm spoiled now. But I love the raspberry flavor and the lemon lime. And if you check out my latest LinkedIn newsletter, I do have a link there where we can both get a free box. Hey, who doesn't like a free box? And I like the trace minerals. They have Endure is the blend, and that blend does not have a lot of salt, but it has the other minerals that we need. And I just put a little squirt in my water bottle each time I fill it. I'll tell you something, it changes the texture of the water. It changes the mouth feel of the water, which I hadn't really gotten to. I used to enjoy the mouth feel of different wines, but I don't really drink much anymore. Maybe a couple times a year to celebrate something big, but I'm not drinking, every night or every weekend like I used to in the Wisconsin culture. So to have that experience of, ooh, mouthfeel is very pleasurable. And I feel like I have more energy as well. When I was first diagnosed with breast cancer, nobody told me about electrolytes. Nobody. I went home from those infusions and I drank glass after glass after glass of water. I would get so waterlogged and I would just keep drinking because nobody told me you need to add electrolytes. Water alone isn't going to do it. So I'm here to tell you, add electrolytes to your water. Find a blend that works for you. There's so many out there. I'm not here to say this is the one. No, find the one that works for you, that fits your budget, that fits your taste, that has sugar, no sugar, stevia, no stevia, whatever your preference. There are many, many, many out there to choose from. And if you can, look for a certified B company, because certified B companies care. Well, thanks for watching. Let's wrap this up, shall we? I wish you many blessings of health, wholeness, and joy. And if you know someone who is living with cancer or has been recently diagnosed, please feel free to share some of my resources with that individual or family member. I'm here to empower in whatever way I can because I have been through this shit. I found the light on the other side. It's actually the sun, it's right there up in the sky. We just have to look. We just have to find the ground beneath our feet again. It takes time. It's the long game. Healing is a long game. It's not like there's one way, only one way. No, there's so many ways we can heal. And that's really what I want to leave you with today. There are so many ways you can heal. Breath work, meditation, diet, exercise, connection with friends and family. We can add these things into our life slowly, gradually, like we're mixing up a new recipe. Slowly make the changes. Slowly add another. and up we go until we have a beautiful foundation of health and wellness that supports our goals and our purpose in life. Healingwithannette.org. You can send me an email, info@healingwithannette.org. I'd love to hear from you, love to hear your story, hear how I can support you. Join me first Fridays of the month where I have a different kind of support group. I am going to have to skip September. I'm supporting a family member who's having shoulder surgery. So the next one will be the first Friday in October. Unless I hear from you and you want to have one, I could have one the second Friday of September, but I need to hear from you if you want me to have it. Otherwise, it'll be the first Friday in October. And these Mondays going live on LinkedIn, I'm doing it. Love to hear from you. Many blessings. Thanks for watching.